Hello, I'm Raynor. Welcome back to another video of Raynor's Guitar Digest. Okay, today I'm going to share with you on some alternative guitar chord shapes of common chords, okay, that sounds awesome, which you can learn in order to add more colors to your playing and performance. Okay, these chords can either be alternative fingerings or they can be based on other related formulas. Okay, so to make this easy, right, I'm not going into the theory behind the formulas that form these chords, but rather more on the hands-on approach on how to press them so you can directly try them out and have fun. Okay, so first let's look at some chords in the C key, okay, in the C major key. Okay, we'll first look at our simple C major chord in the C key, okay? Okay, this C major chord here. So when we do plucking of this chord, right, okay, this chord always sounds sweet, warm and flawless and evergreen since we are specifically using our thumb to hit the bass and on the 5th string here and fingers for the trebles, so no problem. For example, okay, so this is how we usually pluck our C major chord using maybe a simple plucking pattern. So however, right, when we strum this chord, we usually will hit the 6th string the 6th E string, which usually will make the tone sounds a bit noisy. That means whenever we strum this chord, right, we usually will accidentally hit the 6th E string, which usually will make the tone sounds a bit noisy and heavy on the E. For example, I do this. So you got to take care, you make sure you try not to strike the 6th string. So we try to just do. So we try to concentrate the strumming more on from the 5th string onwards. So when we do that, right, when we accidentally strike the 6th E string, right, when we play a C major chord, they usually make the tone sounds noisy and heavy on the E. So, and it makes it sound like you're playing a C on E chord instead, okay, which is the alternative bass chord C on E. So especially, right, this E note is lower than the original C bass you're supposed to hit. You see the E is actually on the 6th string, then your original C bass for this C chord is actually on the 5th string 3rd fret here. So in order to resolve this, right, so if I play one more time, I strum for you to hear again. So more or less you will accidentally hit the 6th E string here. E is actually part of C chord, it's not wrong, it's just that this E is a bit too far away from the C bass, so it will make the bass will sound very far and will overshadow, overtone, overload the whole C chord with a heavy E inside, which will make it sound not so pleasant. Okay, so as I said, in order to resolve this, right, for me, I will usually, right, shift my ring finger, okay, I will shift it down to the 6th string G bass. Okay, 6th string G bass, and then the pinky, right, I will use my pinky to replace the 5th string 3rd fret C bass with my pinky. Okay, so it will look like this. So one more time, the C major chord, I will shift my ring finger down to the 6th string G bass, 6th string 3rd fret G bass, and then I will use my pinky to replace the previous C bass here on the 5th string 3rd fret. Okay, so when I want to strum a C chord in my songs, right, I usually will use this shape. So, why does it sound nice, right? When we strum this chord, the overall tone sounds better as the G bass note is much closer in distance to the C bass, and thus the overall harmony sounds better even though the result is a C on G chord instead of a pure C. Then moreover, right, your audience, right, normal audiences, right, they can't really tell the difference if it is a C or G when you strum this chord. Okay, so this one is actually a C on G, but you can't really tell if it's a C or G or C because when we strum a guitar, right, all the notes sound out together. Yeah, so you can't really tell the difference unless your ears are very sharp, like musicians are. C on G is actually overall the harmony is better, as I said just now. The G bass is closer to the C here. Yeah, rather than using C on E with a 6th string E bass here. Okay, so let's move on to the next chord. Okay, next chord we will look at in the C key will be the F major chord. Okay, we usually bar the F major chord whenever we strum or pluck, right? Okay, I will usually use the full bar F chord here, F major chord. Okay, the alternative shape that I sometimes use will be the F major 7 chord instead. Okay, which looks like this. This chord will require the thumb here, your thumb to wrap around the 6th string 1st fret F note here, and then the rest of the 3 main fingers, right, stacking down the 2nd string 1st fret, 3rd string 2nd fret, and the 4th string 3rd fret. okay, like it looks like a staircase going down here, and leaving your first string here open, okay, leaving your first string open. So it sounds like this, okay? So usually, right, this shape is great when we play some fingerstyle solos that require the first string to be open, so that the fingers will not be stuck due to the barring of the index on the first fret. So sometimes when I want to play fingerstyle, let's say I do a bar F chord, right? If I want to move any fingers, right, I usually at the most I can only use my pinky, lift up my pinky, because the rest of the notes here you have to lift it down. Yeah. So usually, if let's say I want to play my first string, right, I'm also limited because it's already barred. If I take away my bar here, right, in order to play an open E or something, right, then my whole chord will be affected. Especially my bass, it might be shifted a bit because I do some lifting here. So what we usually do is I will wrap around my thumb here on the F bass here on the 6th string first fret, and then when I do this, right, I have my index finger free up, which I can take up, and I can use my pinky and index freely here to do some fingerstyle stuff here. Yeah, instead of my bar chord. If I do bar chord, I have to remove my bar, which will make my bass sustain. It will affect the sustain of the bass here lah. Yeah. So also when I do plucking of the inner assignments, right, that does not require the first string, I will sometimes also alternatively use this shape to conserve energy and improve efficiency for my fingers. For example, let's say I play a plucking pattern, but I play in the inner assignment, for example. Then let's say I want to play F chord, right? If let's say I use the bar F chord, so is it really required to play the full bar F? No, actually no need here. I can actually use my just now the alternative F major 7 fingering here. So it will sound like this. It still sounds the same. Yeah. So in this aspect, right, if I'm playing the inner assignment and I'm not using the first string, I'm using just strings 2, 3, 4 and the bass only, right, I can use this shape to do the plucking, so that it helps you to conserve your energy. You don't need to keep on pressing full bar F chord. Yeah, because I understand for some for beginners, right, they usually the stamina is not so good when they come to bar chord. If let's say the song is very long, or you're playing a set of 45 minutes and you have to play 10 songs, 12 songs throughout and keep on using F chord, a lot of bar chords, right, you will use out a lot of energy. So sometimes you can conserve energy using this method. Yeah, so instead of pressing a full F, use a F major 7 instead when you do plucking lah. Yeah. Okay, but of course sometimes when you require the tone to be a F major tone, you want your top note here to be this, then you really have to put to the bar F chord lah. It's not that the bar F chord is useless and you totally replace it with F major 7. It's not that. Okay, don't be lazy. Okay, so remember that. Okay, so next chord we will look at in C key will be the A minor chord. Okay, A minor chord. So sometimes when I want to the A minor, right, to sound mysterious and twilight, I will go for this shape which is called the A minor at 9, which sounds like this. Okay, so it sounds very mysterious, right? Because there's some open strings involved and some notes here that sounds very close to each other. So you put your ring finger on the 4th string 7th fret and the index on the 3rd string 5th fret. Yeah, just these two notes. And your bass, of course, it will still be the 5th string A bass here lah. So 5th string open A bass, and then you play it down. Okay, you want to pluck it. Yeah, it will sound very mysterious, very twilight. You can even strum it, no problem. Yeah, but just use it in the C key lah, okay, for this A minor chord. Or alternatively, we will say in the A minor key, you can use this chord actually. Yeah, that's A minor at 9. Okay. Okay, next let's look at some chords in the E key. Okay, in the E major key. We will look at two chords here directly, which are the A major and the B major. Okay, we reference to the E key. So as you know, as E key sounds super awesome in tone due to the natural open strings on the 1st and 6th strings, we can always make use of these open strings and movable chord shape of E major to beautify the A and B chord to an A at 9 on E and a B at 4 on E. So if you are playing these 3 chords in E key in sequence, for example, I start with an E major chord. Then next chord I move to an A major chord. Then the next chord I move to a B chord. Okay, so let me demo one more time without stopping. instead of doing just now what I do, we can make use of the E major chord shape, okay, and move it up to this position, which is first the 3rd string, 6th fret, and 4th and 5th string on the 7th fret. Then this will be the A at 9 on E. See, it sounds very beautiful because there's a lot of open strings sounding out naturally. Okay, then further move this up to the position 3rd string, 8th fret, and 4th and 5th string, 9th fret for B at 4 on E. It sounds so beautiful also because there's a lot of open string involved. So notice how beautiful the open string sounds out with the chord tones, because this in E key, a lot of natural tones here, a lot of natural notes sounding out here because there's a lot of open strings. So let me do this again. Just now the same chord sequence, E, A, B, but I'm doing E, A at 9 on E, and B at 4 on E. So it goes like this. Sounds very beautiful, right? Okay, so this is in E key of the A major and the B major chord, the modification. So finally let's look at some chords in the G key. Okay, we'll first look at the D major chord in G key. D major chord in G key. So as we know, D major chord is actually the C major chord, right? C major chord, add 2 semitones up, so we can loosely use this idea to move your C major chord up 2 frets without barring to do this D11 chord shape. So this is a C major chord. If I move 2 semitones or 2 frets up, okay, 1 fret, 2 fret, okay, you're moving it up here. So when you are in this position, your ring finger will be at the 5th string, 5th fret, middle will be at the 4th string, 4th fret, and the index will be at the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Okay, so if we then it sounds like this. So this is actually I call this a D11 chord. Okay, just an estimation is actually a D11 chord. Okay, so if we play this chord sequence G, C, D, let's say if originally I do with the G, C, and the normal D, it sounds like this. Okay, so this is G, C, D, G. Okay, so if let's say I use the D11 shape instead, it sounds like this. Okay, so it sounds more beautiful now as you look at the just now the D11 here that I use lah, instead of the normal D here. So you can even do plucking like. Okay, so the shape moves up naturally, so it sounds nice. You can even do slide. Yeah, so you can actually replace the normal D major chord with a D11, okay, in terms of the G key, okay? So, next chord will be the E minor in G key, okay? Similar to an A minor at 9 we learned earlier, in order to make the tone more mysterious and twilight, we can try the E minor 9, okay, E minor 9, okay, E minor sounds like this, E minor 9 looks like this. So, your E minor 9, we can try E minor 9 with middle will be at the 4th string, 4th fret, okay, and then the index will be on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then you can do this with even with a slide from the 4th string, 2nd fret to the 4th string, 4th fret when we do plucking. But it will sound like this first, okay. The original chord will be instead of a normal E minor, okay. Then E minor 9. Then if you want to, you can do a slide from the 2nd fret here with your middle finger up to the 4th string, 4th fret, and then continue with the chord. Okay, so this is actually a E minor 9 chord, okay, which you can use it to replace the E minor chord for a more beautiful tone, more mysterious tone in a G key. So these are just a few examples that I commonly see and use in my covers. So of course, there are definitely more out there which you can explore and find out maybe in YouTube, okay, or other sources. So, alright, that's all for this video. Hope you learned something new, and remember to subscribe, follow, like, or comment below if you have any questions. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.